Once upon a time, let me tell a story about my beloved child named Barry, who is living in a bustling city where he lived lavishly since he's a successful businessman. The life Barry lived may be appealing to others, and he was coveted by many, even his closest friends. Barry was not naive with his opportunistic friends and does comprehend his life seemed meaningless and in a constant pointless cycle. Barry felt the shallowness of life and harbored within his heart an inexplicable emptiness. He spent his days chasing wealth and recognition, but fulfillment eluded him. In desperation, almost taking his own life by overdosing himself with drugs, he cried and shouted,
"God, if you are there, please help me."
So lovingly, I arranged an appointment with him. That morning, Barry woke up from the hospital, learning that his grandmother living from a far suburb paid him a visit, eventually calling the authorities, saving Barry's life. He thanked the old lady for saving him. It was a long, happy conversation that ended with his grandma asking him if she could pray for him. Barry jokingly said that he did call for God that evening. That's why that time he let her pray for him, which he usually rejected. The day came that Barry was well again, and the doctors let him go home. As the hospital security called a taxi, he felt that he should be walking. So he signaled and thanked the security guy and said that he would take a stroll for him to exercise his legs. While walking, the rain suddenly showers the city. That rainy afternoon, while walking home from the hospital, Barry took a detour through an old, forgotten alley. There, he noticed an old, weathered church with a soft light glowing from its stained glass windows. From the church, he could hear a solemn music playing. Curiosity led him inside, where he found an elderly man known as Brother Nate, who greeted him warmly. Barry began to question life, and Brother Nate patiently listened to him and explained that sometimes this brain of ours cannot grasp life. With a newfound friend, he keeps on visiting the church regularly, intrigued by the calm presence and the peaceful atmosphere within the church. One day, he confided with Brother Nate about his sense of emptiness and was amazed by Nate's sense of contentment. Brother Nate listened intently and then handed Barry worn-out pamphlets asking him to read and contemplate the written Psalms. Skeptical but desperate for answers, Barry began reading. He mindfully read the Psalms, and as if the verses were speaking to him, echoing his inner turmoil and longing for meaning. Over time, Barry felt a profound sense of peace and clarity. He started attending church services, joining community activities, and engaging in heartfelt prayers. Experiences, Barry discovered a deeper purpose in life. He began to understand that true fulfillment came not from external success, but from a relationship with me and serving others. His life transformed as he embraced faith, kindness, and humility. I was honored by the newly found life of Barry, so I allowed hardships to befall upon the life of Barry. His business almost became bankrupt, and his influential friends whom he used to hang out with looked down on him. But Barry has developed the habit of calling God, and so he begged with me to spare his life. Barry's journey from a restless businessman to a man of faith inspired many around him. He found God not through dramatic miracles, but through quiet introspection, genuine connections, and the timeless wisdom of the readings he did. In finding God, Barry finally filled the emptiness within, living a life of purpose and peace. So I restored what was lost to him. I even doubled his wealth without him knowing, since he is too mindful of the things related to me. If any of you, like Barry, who has struggled with life's meaning and its emptiness, just try to genuinely look for me, and I will surely set an appointment to meet you and give you a chance to know me. Just be patient and look forward to the appointed day. Don't let doubt drag you down. Oftentimes your human inclinations have pushed you away from your divine meeting with the Almighty. But I am patient, lovingly await, and ready to light the old alley for you.
Jesus and the Magic Garden. There was a hidden garden known only to a few. This was no ordinary garden. It was said to be enchanted with flowers that bloomed in vibrant colors and fruits that shimmered like jewels. In a serene village nestled between rolling hills, the villagers often whispered about its magical properties, claiming that those who entered with an open heart would leave transformed. One sunny afternoon, a gentleman named Jesus wandered into the village. He was known for his kindness and wisdom, and his presence brought comfort to those around him. Hearing the stories of the magic garden, his curiosity was piqued, and he decided to seek it out. As Jesus walked through the village, he came across a little girl sitting on the side of the road, her face buried in her hands. He knelt beside her and asked,
"What troubles you, dear child?"
Through her tears, she explained,
I had lost my favorite toy, a wooden lamb that had been a gift from my mother. It was precious to me, and I feared I would never find it again.
Jesus smiled gently and said,
"Let's search for it together."
They ventured into the heart of the village, asking everyone they met if they had seen the toy. Hours passed, and just as the sun began to set, casting a golden hue across the sky, they reached the entrance of the fabled garden. The gate was adorned with vibrant vines and blooming flowers that seemed to whisper secrets to one another. Jesus opened the gate, and the little girl gasped in wonder. The garden was alive with colors more brilliant than she had ever seen, and the air was fragrant with the scent of blossoms. As they wandered deeper into the garden, they encountered flowers that sang sweet melodies and trees that danced gently in the breeze. The little girl laughed for the first time that day, her worries fading away amidst the surrounding beauty. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a small pond, its surface sparkling like diamonds. As they approached, Jesus noticed something floating on the water, a familiar wooden lamb.
"Look."
He exclaimed, pointing at the toy. The little girl squealed with delight and rushed to the water's edge. When she reached for it, the water shimmered and a gentle voice emerged.
To find what you seek, you must give what you have.
The girl furrowed her brow in confusion.
But I have nothing to give.
She replied. Jesus knelt beside her and whispered.
"You have your kindness, offer a gift of love."
The girl closed her eyes and thought about her toy.
I will share my love for my lamb with others.
She declared. As she spoke these words, the pond shimmered again, and the wooden lamb floated toward her. Overjoyed, she scooped it from the water and hugged it tightly. The girl is thankful and her heart full of joy. Jesus smiled at her, his eyes twinkling.
Remember, dear child, love is the greatest magic of all. It can heal, transform, and bring joy to those around you.
As they left the garden, the little girl felt different. She sensed a lighter feeling within, brimming with a newfound understanding of love and generosity. From that day forward, she shared her joy and kindness with everyone in the village, reminding them that true magic lies not in enchanted gardens, but in the love we share with one another. And so, the stories of Jesus and the magic garden spread far and wide, not as tales of wonder, but as lessons of love that transcended time, touching the hearts of all who heard them.
Once upon a time, in a peaceful village between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there was a legend of a man named Jesus who could speak to animals. The villagers adored him for his wisdom, kindness, and miraculous abilities. But it was his connection with the animals that made him truly remarkable. One sunny morning, as Jesus walked along a forest path, he heard a rustling in the bush. Out popped a curious squirrel with a fluffy tail, its eyes wide with excitement.
Good morning, Jesus!
Chirped the squirrel.
I have a message from the animals of the forest. We need your help.
Jesus knelt, his eyes gentle and full of understanding.
What troubles you, my friend?
The squirrel explained that a terrible drought had struck the forest, drying up the streams and withering the plants. The animals were thirsty and hungry, struggling to survive.
Lead me to them.
Jesus said, standing up.
We will find a way.
As they walked deeper into the forest, animals emerged from their hiding places. Birds chirped from the trees, deer peeked from behind bushes, and even the shy rabbits came out of their burrows. They all gathered around Jesus, their eyes filled with hope.
Fear not.
Jesus said, raising his hand.
Together, we will bring life back to this forest.
Jesus found a small clearing, knelt, and placed his hands on the dry earth. He closed his eyes and began to pray. As he did, a soft glow emanated from his hands, spreading across the ground. The animals watched in awe as the earth began to tremble, and tiny green shoots emerged from the soil. Soon, the shoots grew into lush plants and clear, sparkling water bubbled up from the ground, forming a fresh stream that wound its way through the forest. The animals joyfully cheered and danced as they drank the cool water and nibbled on the new plants.
Thank you, Jesus.
Cried a wise old owl.
You have saved us all.
But Jesus wasn't done yet. He turned to the animals and said,
Your faith in me, as well as the power of love and unity, has brought this miracle. Always remember to care for each other and the world around you.
The animals nodded, understanding the importance of working together and protecting their home. From that day on, the forest flourished like never before. The animals lived in harmony, always ready to help one another and keep their environment thriving. So, the legend of Jesus and the talking animals spread far and wide, reminding everyone of the power of compassion, unity, and the magic that happens when we all come together for a common good. Inspired by the story, the village became a place where humans and animals coexisted in perfect harmony, always remembering the miracle that changed their lives forever.
Climate change poses a challenge, compelling humanity to reevaluate its environmental policies through the lens of stewardship, a principle deeply rooted in my teachings. God's principles of caring for creation and guide your response to climate change. This principle involves embracing practices and policies that honor the earth as a divine gift entrusted to humanity's care. By promoting renewable energy, reducing carbon footprints, and supporting conservation efforts, you align your actions to tend and keep the garden of the world. Integrating these spiritual values into environmental policies creates a collective moral responsibility, fostering a harmonious balance between human progress and the planet's health. God's advice on war and conflict emphasizes the pursuit of peace and reconciliation. He advises us to love one another, forgive those who wrong us, and seek peaceful solutions to disputes. Maintaining humility, showing compassion, and practicing patience are essential. God encourages us to overcome evil with good, to be peacemakers, and to strive for unity and harmony, acting with integrity and fairness in all dealings, avoiding vengeance, and trusting His justice and guidance are paramount. By fostering a spirit of love and understanding, we can work towards resolving conflicts and promoting lasting peace. For me alone, the avenger to those who harm you, so be at peace. God's advice emphasizes compassion, empathy, and love in understanding others. He encourages you to see beyond your differences and to recognize the inherent worth in every person. May you actively listen, judge less, and strive to understand the challenges and happiness of those around you. By practicing patience and forgiveness, you reflect His grace in your interactions. God's love teaches you to be kind-hearted, to support one another in times of need, and to build bridges of peace and unity. Through His wisdom, you will learn that proper understanding comes from a heart aligned with divine love and humility. Remember that I, too, understand your weaknesses and failures.